Good morning. Good morning. It is 7:30 on this Wednesday, April 10th. Thanks for joining us for Breakfast with Bridget. It is a special episode today. We have some members of the New Six family joining us to tell us some personal stories as it relates to Donate Life Month. So we're so excited for that coming up in a few minutes. But first, we're going to help you get out the door as always with some weather, some traffic. Meteorologist Candace Campos is standing by in the Pinpoint Weather Center. And so today, a pretty normal day. Changes on the way too, though.
Accurate. Yes, it's a mild start, Bridget. Right now, many areas in Central Florida are waking up into the mid to low 70s at this hour. We got a lot of cloud cover, and the
Mm-hmm.
way I like to explain it, cloud cover during the morning acts like a blanket, so it
Mm-hmm.
kind of traps all that heating down at the surface during the day, and it keeps temperatures on the warm side. So it's kind of warm. It's kind of muggy out there. So let's take it to the map, show you what we're talking about here. Temperatures at this hour, we are in the 60s, even a few mid 70s out the door in Titusville. We're in Sanford. We're hitting the road. We're going to Sanford later on today. Right now, you guys are starting off at about 64, but you can see kind of the palm fronds there blowing in the wind. Right now in Port Canaveral at 73. The breeze is already picking up out of the southeast at about 13 miles per hour. So we are anticipating kind of a breezy day. We'll clock that up to more windy weather for your Thursday. So we'll get to that in just a few seconds. But for those heading out to the maybe enjoy the beach today, it's going to be about 78 degrees, although if you're asking me personally, I'd say it's a little bit on the breezier side of a comfortable beach day. So the winds will be picking up between 20 to 25 miles per hour. And because of that, we do still have a very high risk rip currents up and down all of our beaches. For boaters, exercise caution for today because the waters are going to start getting choppy. Looking at today's forecast on land, it's not too bad, 86 degrees. That is certainly warmer than where we should be for this time of the year, with the breeze again picking up. But let's talk about the weather for tomorrow. That's going to be playing a big part in our local forecast. It's this system that is now increasing. You can see the tornado watch boxes keep being extended as this low moves from Texas, tracking into Louisiana this afternoon. So this big area here will be under that zone for the potential for severe weather. The same system, by the way, has been increasing the threat for flash floods throughout Texas, tornado warnings as well. And we're going to start tapping into that severe threat for tomorrow. So clouds and rain forecast, you can see where those arrows collide later on this afternoon. That's basically the typical sea breeze storms. A sea breeze development could pop an isolated shower or two, but the storm threat really doesn't move in until tomorrow along that front. So let's show you here. Before the rain gets here, though, it will be windy. We're talking sustained winds between 20 to 25. Could get some gusts before the rain and storms even get here, upwards about 40. So if you already have a very windy setup already, you don't need much to create that damaging wind gust, and that's going to be the biggest threat for tomorrow as that main line comes through. So wind advisories, by the way, could be issued later on today for tomorrow's forecast. But you can see here that main line moves in by about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. That line continues to shift towards our I-4 corridor by about 3 o'clock. Bridget, what's 3 o'clock?
Oh, car line
Car
time.
line time. So for areas from Volusia, Seminole, Orange, I should make a car line alert kind of day, right? We are anticipating a good chance for rain and storms along the I-4 corridor. And then you can see the line kind of weakens considerably once it crosses over I-4 and into Brevard County. So the severe risk won't be as high for areas like in Osceola and Brevard compared to areas further north. And I'll show you why in just a second. But by the time overnight rolls around Thursday night and Friday morning, we're going to usher in a really nice setup, drier, breezy, looking good for the weekend. So here's your severe weather risk forecast. The Storm Prediction Center is highlighting areas from I-4 northward as a level 2. That's that slight risk. But for areas southward, into areas I-4 and southward, we're under a level 1. That's a marginal risk. So this morning, I'm holding it as an inconvenient weather day, but I have a sneaky suspicion I'm going to increase that to a weather alert day for the noon show just because of the modeling that keeps coming in, still showing that threat of that damaging wind gust threat really will be the biggest concern for us. So, with that being said, again, the timing 1 p.m. for our northern zones, by 6 p.m. across our southern half. That marginal slight risk will be in the forecast. So, windy tomorrow, stormy by the afternoon, but then come Friday into the weekend, we're looking fantastic temperatures back to where they should be for this time of the year, back into the low 80s. We just have to get through kind of a dicey Thursday, especially for dismissal time. So, as the kids are heading home from the bus stop, heading home from school, maybe those after school activities might have to either be delayed or canceled depending on where your school zone is. Areas in Marion County, you'll be done with the rain by about 1, 2 o'clock. So your after school activities should be good to go. Where areas across, Eastern Orange and Osceola County, that might be up in the air still.
So what about later, like early evening, later afternoon, like around 6 p.m.?
We're looking good. We're looking good by
Okay.
then. This line's
Okay.
going to move pretty quick. So that's good in the terms of flooding potential and things like that. But because
And that's
this
for
line
tomorrow,
moves,
you said.
this is going to be for tomorrow.
Oh, that's
Today
for tomorrow.
we're good.
Okay. Today we're good.
Today
Good.
we are
Okay.
dry. We are just breezy. That's really the only issue, really. But then we'll turn more windy early Friday, stormy. I'm sorry, Thursday, then stormy Thursday afternoon, and then we're good to go throughout the weekend.
All right. Some variety.
Yes, that's
Keeping us paying attention to you, Candace.
that's Central Florida nutshell for the spring season. That's for sure.
All right. Well, thank you. I'll see you
welcome.
soon.
Bye.
All right. Bye. So guess who is back? Back again. Trooper Steve. Yes. And if you didn't know, he was on vacation. This time, the Bahamas. And he was in this morning, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed on a very few hours of sleep. You had a luxurious layover, or what would you say, delay?
It was definitely a canceled delay, but I got to give credit where credit's due. JetBlue came through. They took care of everybody who got canceled, and it takes one person. Every company's got bad apples, right? But it takes one person for you to remember kindness, and
Yes.
JetBlue made it happen, and it was just an amazing experience. And met some viewers unexpectedly by accident while I was singing this song
Karaoke.
right here. I don't know if
Now, if
I don't
you're
know if
not
you
going to
can
play
hear it.
you singing the song, no, copyright. Stop it.
Just real quick.
Where is the video? I need the footage of this karaoke.
I'll show you it. It's not going to leave my phone. It's not going to be posted anywhere. But Camila was like, "Hey, let loose. We're canceled.
Yeah.
Have a good time." She knows I love to sing in the car and all that fun stuff.
And you just
She's
had
like,
to
"Go for
release
So I
it.
got up
I
there.
know you. You want to be organized and on time, so you just had to let it
Right.
go, relax.
Just let it go.
Like,
And
you know what? I'm
I
delayed.
spent about I spent about 2.5 minutes singing my heart out, some Barry White. And when I was at the airport yesterday, an amazing viewer, her name's Lou, and she definitely came up to me and goes, "Are you Trooper Steve?"
And
And
you're used
usually
to
if someone
that.
comes up, well, I am to a point, but if someone comes up, "Are you Steve?" I'll deny it. I'll be like, "No, I'm not Steve. My name's Michael." But if you come up to me and say Trooper Steve, I'm done. I'm caught at that point.
Okay.
So, and I was like, "Yes, ma'am." And she goes, "Oh my gosh, we watch you every morning." And then her daughter goes, "You were great last night singing that song." And Bridgett,
oh my gosh, you died right there.
I was so red. I was so red because, like, you know me pretty good, and I like to maintain my reputation. And
Yep.
yeah, but to my surprise, she goes, "This is why we love New Six Mornings, because you guys are so relatable. We love waking up with you guys. Even though the news is tough sometimes, you guys always give it to a way that you feel like our neighbors. And guess what? We are your neighbors." So it was a really good opportunity. I even met her son, who is the vice principal over at Millennia Elementary, and talked about how we, the New Six staff, does teach in. And so he was really excited to have a conversation with me. It was a good, relatable human moment that I most definitely will not forget.
Yes. And again, going back to like JetBlue taking care of you, I was on a JetBlue flight last year for my birthday, and the guys on the plane gave me a nice little note, and a shout out for my birthday, and it just,
Yes.
it just makes your day because it travel. Even though you're going to relax, the traveling part can sometimes be stressful. So,
Absolutely. And I'm so glad you said that because mid-flight, Ivy, the lead flight attendant, we're like maybe 20 minutes from landing. She walks up to Camila, my wife, and I'm no exaggeration here, Bridget, with a full Publix cake and a card that she brought from Orlando to the Bahamas, knowing we were going to be on this flight and we were canceled to get home, and gave it to her mid-flight.
oh my
I
goodness,
I felt like I was hanging out at church
oh my
because the
goodness,
kindness was so intense and it just
yes.
came from their heart. I didn't ask for anything. I didn't
See,
complain about anything.
so
It was
when you
amazing. And
can
it's just
fly
people,
JetBlue, not a paid
right.
advertisement here, but just
No, not at
awesome
all.
people.
But
Yeah.
Bridget and I will give credit. We'll always
Yes.
give credit to moments of kindness
Yes.
when it's not asked for and it comes from the heart. And that's what
Hmm.
happened yesterday with them.
And
And
it was worth
uh,
it to meet
I'm not a,
your viewer friend there and her family too. And
absolutely,
you wouldn't have met them if it
absolutely.
hadn't been for that delay. So,
Yes. So overall, it all worked out. I'm glad to be back. You're right, bright eye and bushy tail with 3 hours of sleep, but I can't complain because I know you've done that before. I know other staff has done that before, and yet we sit here and we go
and
and
it's
smile.
your birthday week. It's your birthday week too. So.
Oh, you already know I ignored your text this morning.
Yeah, guys. I tried to ask him if he wanted Jeff's bagels, cupcakes, cake, and he ignored me. Left me on
I
red.
think a bagel would be amazing
Okay.
tomorrow. So if you
And
want to
you're
do Jeff's
sesame or
bagels, I
salt? No, crystal salt.
look at you. You
You're
know me
sesame.
good. I'm a
Yeah.
sesame guy.
Okay.
Yeah. So yes, my birthday is tomorrow. So yeah, hey, you got me. You got me. It's your show, so you can do whatever you want.
Happy unbirthday to you today, and we'll do birthday tomorrow.
Yes, yes. So, let's check on the
Traffic.
roads real quick because we did have some stuff that just came out a little while ago that's causing a little concern. So, first and foremost, Apopka, this one, Zellwood area, it's going to clear out within the next few, but 408's looking good, but this is not. Oh, look at that. FHP and the Road Rangers working quick, y'all. So this was just shut down a few moments ago, northbound 417 at the 26. It's going to put you right at West Road. What the roadway looks open, the troopers off on the shoulder in the construction zone, but let me show you what's up. The delays are still heavily there this morning. So Ocoee, Winter Garden, I just need you guys to be careful. Please increase the following distance. My map hasn't updated yet, but your lanes are open out there. So just take it nice and smooth, please. 408 looking good through the Orlo Vista area. East Seminole County, Longwood, Winter Springs, you're in the clear. Drive times, average on a Wednesday, I guess, 417, 408 to Redbug, 10 minutes from Turnpike southbound to 27 to 50. That might be a little higher. I don't know about that. We are seeing some delays in downtown Orlando right now. Eastbound I-4 at 408. There's a crash out there. Couldn't find it on DOT camera, but look what it's causing. It's causing a heavy westbound delay along State Road 408 through the city. So again, increasing your following distance, I say this because it eliminates secondary crashes and will get you to where you're going on time. I-4 drive times reflecting some of the issues we're seeing. 25 minutes, Osceola Parkway to State Road 50, and then the opposite direction just ticked up. 26 minutes from Lake Mary to Colonial. Claremont, nice and smooth, 50. Routine delays through Oakland area. The Florida Turnpike running smooth this morning, even out in the Wildwood area. So again, pretty much a nice routine Wednesday. Hopefully we'll clear that up along 429 within the next few. Bridget, it was pretty awesome, and I encourage our viewers to do this. I had a viewer send me a message during the middle of the show, an email asking, what do I recommend for a special route over the weekend?
Mm-hmm.
Anytime a viewer has a question like that, I encourage you. Send me an
Mm-hmm.
email.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get you the proper directions, and we have inside information here at News 6 about when construction's happening, so I'll always
Mm-hmm.
keep you updated on that.
Awesome. Thank you. That's pinpoint traffic. Thank you.
Yes, yes.
All right. So I have to get over to Haley and her family, but we'll catch up with you, Steve, in a little bit on the road. All right. So we have a special guest today, and I want to. You're just going to love them. You don't get to see them because they're behind the scenes, but Haley Coombs Martin, who is one of our longtime News 6 producers here, she's there with her family this morning, Jamie, and new baby boy, Reese. Good morning, guys. Thank you so much for getting up and waking up with us for the live stream.
Oh, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Everybody looks so good and happy.
I was going to say, I mean, he got the memo on breakfast,
Oh,
so he's
wow.
here.
Yes, because he was a little sleepy just a few minutes ago, but he's got his baba and everybody looks so
Oh,
great.
for
And
sure.
I'm so happy to have you guys featured this morning because it's Donate Life Month. And, Haley, you came in the other morning and we were wrapping up a conversation with some folks from our Legacy, Florida. And then, we started talking about Jamie. And so, what can you tell people about your story, Jamie and Haley? Because Jamie went through the process of needing a transplant. Just, tell us how it all started. Take us back in time.
Oh goodness, it's a big story. It's a large story.
It's so funny. Even though we went on this journey together, our experiences, I'd say, are so different because it happened roughly. Well, things started to take a turn about five years ago, leading up to our wedding. So,
yes.
You know, well, Jamie, yeah, you tell them about your
your
health.
Well, yeah, it was one of those things where it started off as small things seemed to be suddenly. I went from like perfect health wise to things starting to not be correct, and then it went from slow to really accelerated, really super quick. All
Was
of a
it
sudden
out
they
of
went,
nowhere?
Almost. I would almost say that because I didn't think I had that big of a problem. Even when talking with my doctor, but he went from that to you have liver failure.
Oh.
And so it went. So all of a sudden, everything kind of accelerated from there in terms of what was going wrong. 2019 was the year that every month or so I was in the hospital with things going wrong. And it was just one of those things where, but in terms of how I felt about what was going on, I could have looked at it as a very hard thing. But the hardest thing, or at least the person that had to deal with the hardest problems, was right there.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that I always tell people when I talk to them these days. It's one of those things where you have to have someone very strong and really has the ability to deal with what's going on, because as far as I was concerned, all I was doing, I don't want to say it like it's a weird thing to say, but it's like all I was doing was dying.
Oh.
There wasn't much I could do about it except for keep myself as healthy as I could.
What did the doctors say about how long you might wait to possibly get a match for a transplant? Or was that at first an option?
It was, we, through our research, we were told usually 3 months, 2.5 months, right?
To get the
liver transplant, yeah.
Yeah, it can be, but but there were other people that I'd be in the hospital, and there were people there that were in there for like 6 months and were still waiting.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Like in the hospital, so it can be a very you can get. I don't want to say lucky because but you can get I guess lucky. And get it early in time, but for some people, unfortunately, they can't because they don't get it in time, and something else, unfortunately, takes their lives.
Well, and keep in mind too, he received his gift November 2019, 4 months before pandemic. And that right there.
We know so many delays happened after that for everyone. Yeah.
We were I think about it still.
I know.
It gives me
got
chills. Like how lucky we
Mm-hmm.
were in terms of timing. So.
Yeah, it really was. It was. I just remember I was on the way to the hospital to get a procedure done that I had to do every single week. It involved like taking the liquid out of my belly. There was a lot of things I had to do, but all of a sudden we got a phone call, and next thing I know, I didn't pick it up because I was talking with my Uber guy, and next thing I know, Haley's like, "You got to call the hospital right now," and so I called up the hospital. They're like, "We need you to come in." I'm like, "I'm almost there," and so I was in the hospital, and I just stayed there until I had my my transplant.
Wow.
I got very, very lucky.
There were lots of ups and downs, and I remember that. And Haley, you were so strong. You came to work, and we had talks, to the side sometimes, but you were so strong, and it's admirable because no one knows what this is like until it touches someone right there, you know, in your immediate family. What do you try to tell people now after this journey that you guys have been through?
Well, I look back now and how I handled things, and I would definitely, I wish I would have done things a little bit different, and by different I mean lean on friends and family a little bit more. I'm definitely the type of person who bottles things up, thinking I could just handle things on my own, and I don't want to be a burden to anybody. But when you're the role of a caretaker, yes, you
Yeah.
life is so different. And so that's one thing I tell people is lean on your friends, lean on your family, and so remember the helpers, as as Fred Rogers would say.
And what about like signing up to be an organ donor, you know, or considering living donations? I know that Jamie's donation came from someone who had passed away tragically, but was able to give the gift of life because they were an organ donor. So, you know, what do you try to tell people about that now?
I mean,
Boy, I remember when I was I was up in Altamont Springs picking up my license for the first time when I was 15 and a half, getting my my license, and I signed the donation because it was just like something it kind of automatically felt good to do. But it's one of those things where it's still getting out there. It's not like it used to, years and years ago. It used to be a lot less people, but so it is getting better. But I like to educate people whenever I get a chance to talk to them and say, here's what we need it for, and I mean, look at what can happen.
Yeah.
We went
because you had your wedding. You were strong enough for that wedding. Now you have little Reese. It's just been one blessing after the other.
It has. It really has.
Yeah.
And it's funny because every Friday Jamie joins a support group through the Advent Health, his group for transplants, and he'll have Reese with him, and the social worker appreciates that every time because we talked to her on Sunday at the Advent Health family picnic. She says Reese is a symbol of hope.
Yes.
It shows people you can have that after a transplant, after everything. So I know.
Yes.
It's amazing. We have people that are in that group that are like I am. I'm 4.5 years out. We have people that have just gotten theirs. We have people that are still waiting to get theirs. And it's nice to be able to give back to them and give them like we were just saying, the hope.
Yes.
Of what life can be like once you get it done. There's still a lot of work. I mean, there's a lot of things that have changed in my life. But most of them for the good. Sure, I used to love red meat. I used to love a good steak, which you really can't do because you never want to take the chance with your liver, and that involves food too, like sushi, things like that. I can no longer eat that.
The chance of bacteria.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. But it's just small little, it's small little things like that. We joke about you have not been able to do that anymore, but. I'll give that up. I have no problem with that.
Yeah. Well, I'm so happy that you guys could share this morning, and I look forward to hopefully we can expound on this more, moving forward, especially at times like this when we're building awareness. But thank you so much for sharing this. Have a great day. Haley, I'll see you soon. Jamie, you, Reese, and Winnie. I hear Winnie's tail wagging and paws tapping back there.
That my feet. She's at my feet right now.
Yeah. Well, you guys have a good one. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Bye.
Bye. So I gotta get to WKMG Hits the Road. Our producer Tiffany Brown has a preview of where we're going today in Sanford.
We asked and you answered, telling us everything we should know about Sanford and the rest of the 32771 zip code.
Trucks in the morning are extremely loud. Trucks late evening, extremely loud. Sometimes some of the trucks, when they're using their engine brakes, as I call them, I'm not sure what they actually are, it actually shakes the house.
I went over there to talk to construction workers while this was all being built to make sure that and he said to me, I didn't believe it would be this close. He was surprised it was this close to.
That's what he said.
Yep.
Wow.
We're talking about everything from new traffic patterns to safety concerns.
So when you moved in and you saw there were no sidewalks,
So I was okay with these streets because they're very untraveled. That street,
It is
however,
quiet, yeah.
it's very quiet here. That street, however, it's 25, but no one goes 25.
We're highlighting those who serve.
So, Mike, you became SRO here at Sanford Middle in 1989.
Correct.
And you were only the second SRO from Sanford here ever.
Correct.
Well, at the time, I don't think I was very fond of him being my SRO.
Okay, let's be real. You probably hated it.
I
Because
did.
he's watching you all the time.
I did.
So when did that change? Because then you started in the Police Explorer program because of your dad, because he was an advisor in the Explorer program.
Because I was seeing, when I was here, I could see the relationship that he did have with the kids here, and they looked up to him.
Clearly, your dad has had a huge influence on your life.
He definitely has had a huge influence. Truly my hero, truly.
And we're taking a look at the history of the area.
In my time, it was the Chamber of Commerce building, but it was originally built as the USO. The Navy came here in '42, and on and off, and they really were here throughout the 50s, and that's where my mom and dad met. This is the St. John's, and of course, this was the navigable part of the river from Jacksonville to right here. All the produce, citrus, and everything that used to be loaded out of here, you know, there would be rail lines and dock lines out into the river.
In some of the hot spots, too.
It's just the perfect environment for anything that has a local flair. It's walkable, it's got a great community.
And now we're bringing those stories to you live from Hollerbox today from 4 to 7. We'll have our anchors out here, our reporters, our investigators, all talking about the stories you said you wanted us to cover. And we're going to be out here talking to you too. So come out and make your voice heard. Also, get an opportunity to get some pretty cool swag bags. Our promotions team will be out here also offering tickets if you want to see what kind of cool opportunities you have to win prizes that were a part of the Grammys swag bag. You'll have an opportunity to do that too if you're one of our insiders or if you show up and become an insider. So like I said, make sure to be out here at Hollerbox from 4 to 7 for our live broadcast. WKMG hits the road today.
All righty. This is going to be so fun. Hope you can join them out there 4 to 7 at Hollerbox in Sanford. So that's going to do it for us. I'll see you at noon. Up next, Weatherwise with meteorologist Jonathan Kegas, and see you back here for breakfast tomorrow at 7:30.